break down a little bit more in detail what we mean by an outright gift, a split interest gift, and an end of life gift?
Sure. So, uh, if you think about church funding, they're funded by annual gifts and capital campaign gifts as a rule. And if you broaden that context of philanthropy into non-faith nonprofits, they're typically funded by capital campaign gifts and plan gifts, and then a smaller portion of that revenue might come from, annual gifts, if you will. And so, if you look at, say, higher education as a model, they're going after what we would call is major planned gifts. They're staffed to do that. They have what you call a major gift officer whose sole role is to go build relationships with alumni, and get those guys to participate in investing in the next generation of students. And that's what they do very, very successfully. It's why churches are able to do billion-dollar capital camp, or excuse me, universities, health and human service organizations, larger paraministries. They can do a billion-dollar capital campaign or multi-billion-dollar capital campaign, whereas churches sometimes struggle to do 1 or 2x of their annual giving with a capital campaign. And so what we want to kind of introduce with our church partners and the givers is you should be thinking about kind of two buckets to give: your annual giving, which is your tithing, and then your estate giving. And that estate giving opens up a large arsenal of really where people's wealth is held, and it's typically in what we call non-cash assets. I'm not necessarily speaking about, say, an art, an art collection or an old car or a boat. Those aren't things that we want. Rather, we want to help people understand what is a non-cash gift. It could be stock, it could be business interest, it could be low cost basis stock where there's going to be a big tax or taxable burden if it's liquidated or repositioned. And so then through a strategy of what we call blended gift, we help givers think through ways that they can not only give an outright gift, but maybe even endow a ministry. They might be able to give a life income gift, and that's arguably a charitable gift annuity or a pooled income fund trust. Split interest gift simply means I can give $1 million to the church, but then I get an income stream for life. And then when I die, that asset remains the property of the church. And that's a huge benefit to the nonprofit world. And the churches, faith-based organizations, are largely the only ones not talking about that, especially as taxes are set to go up, especially when taxes are going to increase, estate tax exemptions are going to be expiring. All those sort of things are set for our federal government, which is what I would call our non-philanthropic partner. They have about 80,000 pages of tax code that says this is our portion of what we're supposed to get, either from income, from investments, or estate. And so they're going to be with you from cradle to grave, I like to say. And so how do we kind of help position our givers to give or direct those tax dollars to the cause of Christ? And that's really a planned gift.